Welcome to World Energy Television. Today we're going to be talking about energy security and the future of our great country. We're at NAPE 2010.
Welcome to World Energy, and today we're at NAPE 2010, speaking with you-know-who, and George Alcorn. George, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So, George, I know we've talked before with World Energy, but how long have you been coming to NAPE?
Listen, I helped start NAPE in 1993. The landman wanted to do a show in Houston, and my good buddy Gene Ames he said, "Oh, Alcorn, it'll never work. We can't do that." So I was going to be the incoming chairman of IPAA, so I went to Denise Bodie, and all you had to do was guarantee the hotel reservations at the hotel, and we did that, and by virtue of that, we have half interest in the IPAA shares it with the Landmen's Association, and we had 720 guests the first year, and we had 40 booths, I believe, and now look what it is today. It's an incredible happening, and it's a real opportunity for people to show what they're doing. It's effective, and we have been successful in finding partners ourselves at this show.
You betcha, George. We're so happy to have you here at the booth, and we have a few questions for you about, of course, our great country, America, who we want to be energy independent. And I'm sure you can speak to that, and in the context of Alaska, of course.
All right. Well, you know, several years ago, I'm a member of the National Petroleum Council, and we did a natural gas study. And it's interesting that at that time, when the subject of shale gas came up, the first cut was a paragraph on shale gas. We did a revise, and it had 2 paragraphs, and then a year later, we did a thing called Hard Truths, and we had a page. But what had happened is the industry did not realize what an incredible resource we had in the lower 48 for shale gas. It makes us independent. It's truly, these guys don't get it in Washington if they're on the green side.
I know all about that.
They're a mess. It is truly a 100 to 200 year resource for all the natural gas we can use in this country, and we can use it to do everything: motor fuels, heating, electric generation. It is the most incredible evolution of this industry, and I have a favorite one, and that was Spindletop. So I'm gonna compare it to that.
What can the people do to push this effort through? What do we need to do? Is it a matter of re-education? Is it a matter of laws that need to be passed?
The impression that I get is that the politics are so ingrained, without having to talk about coal and what it does when it burns, things like that. I've got a buddy, Corby Robertson, who's a big owner of coal in this country, and he calls me from time to time and says, "Alcorn, take it easy on coal. We need it all." But the point is, we have so much new resource of natural gas that we can take care of all of our electric generation if we wish to by using natural gas.
Is the infrastructure in place for that?
The infrastructure is in place partly. I'll help start a thing called the Natural Gas Council, and that involves all the producers in this country and all of the pipeline and distribution companies, the utilities. We had a meeting recently, and the chairman was from North Carolina, and he brought over a guest who runs a utility in North Carolina, and they generate electricity by using coal. And so his issue was, we have new environmental regulations. How can I continue to use coal? And he had a $300 million budget to put in some scrubbers. The chairman of the council introduced him to electric generation with natural gas.
Forget the scrubbers, we're going to change the paradigm.
Changed it over. And so apparently there are several hundred coal-fired electric generation plants in this country that were built in the 50s and 60s, and you could just take over all of that market, and we've got the resource to do it.
So
That's
with your
what's
new
important.
council, can I be the VP?
Sure,
Okay.
Why not?
We're so happy to have George at the booth here today, and I want to thank George Alcorn for joining us here. We look forward to great things with you, George, and seeing you much more in the future.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm Richard Loomis for World Energy, and we've been visiting with George Alcorn, and you know who this is. And thank you very much for watching.